us free. Mm. He's the way, He is truth, He is life. Jesus is life. He is the way, He is truth, He is life. Jesus is life. He is truth. Jesus is life. And now we know the truth. And knowing the truth is what makes us free. Say it again, say it. And now we know the truth. And knowing the truth, that's what makes us free. He's the way. He is truth. He is Jesus. Why the way? He is truth. He is life. Jesus is life. He is truth. Jesus is life. And now say, we know the truth. And knowing the truth, that's what makes us say, we know the truth. And knowing the truth, that's what makes us free. Whoa. Say we live in truth, we walk in truth. Jesus is truth, and now that we know truth, it's truth that makes us free. Can you help me say we live? Oh, Jesus, and one more time, say we live. Oh, we're free. No longer bound in sin. We're free. Oh, we're free. And now we know it's
Grace and peace be multiplied unto you. Thank you for logging in for this, another Walking Through the Word Bible class. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you. Thank you for those of you who are who pulled dual duty tonight and joined in for the community prayer walk, that community prayer that has been taking place this month. Thank you so much for your diligence and consistency in making sure that we're keeping our community covered and lifted in prayer. So we certainly appreciate your work. When we were together last week, we embarked upon or continued our thoughts in this piece of strife, envy, and kind of this entire challenge for us is to pause and to take a self-evaluation. I think that's critical in the climate in which we live, the times in which we live, that our self-evaluation is happening on a consistent basis, that self-evaluation is happening on a consistent basis. And we talked about this piece of you understanding that wherever there's envying and strife, there is confusion in every evil work, which is something we want to push out. We don't want that a part of our environment and a part of what we're trying to accomplish as a body of believers. We don't want envying and strife to be the hallmark or to be the focal point of what we're trying to accomplish, because when it is, James said, you remember in James chapter 3, he says, for wherever, verse 16, for where envy and strife is, there's confusion in every evil work. And this type of stuff does not come. It does not come from heaven. It does not come from heaven. And so we understand that. But we understand that the attributes and the characteristics that do come from heaven is that of peace, that of gentleness, that of mercy, and that which is, here it is, good. That which is good. And so that's a critical piece. And so as we embrace and we think about a self-evaluation, we think about self-improvement and making ourselves better so that everything around us or everything that we're connected to becomes better. Why? Because it's connected to something that has made himself or herself better. And so we don't want to live our lives or be in places where when we're there is envy. When we're there is strife. When we're there's evil work. When we are there's confusion. You've got to make up in your mind, I don't want any environment that way that I am a part of, that I am engaged in, connected to. And so what does that mean for us? That means that we have to make ourselves better. We have to make the determination that I am on a journey. I am on a strategic walk. And where am I trying to get to? A better me. A better me. And so any characteristics that's not making me better, guess what? I want to rid myself of those things because I've done a self-evaluation. Because anytime there is truth, there's an opportunity to build on truth and to expand it. I'll say it again. Anytime there's truth, there's an opportunity to build on it and to expand it, because truth can be expanded. Truth can be built upon. But first and foremost, you have to know and accept and tell yourself the truth. Well, when do I do that? I do that during a period of self-evaluation. I do that a period of self-evaluation. What is true about you, you should know. What's truth about you and what's true about you, you should know. No one should have to tell you who you are, what you do, what you carry, what you possess, and then what you give out. Why? Because I already know the truth about me. And when you begin to tell that, when you begin to establish that truth about you, it puts you on a journey that allows you to distance yourself from things that are unhealthy, from things that are not good, from fruits that are not beneficial when you know the truth. And so I want to continue in James chapter 4 is where I want to lift. Again in 15, 16, 17, 18, we talked about, but this wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, easy to get along with, full of mercy and good fruits, and without partiality and without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown, look at this, in peace of them that do what? Make peace. That's where we were dropping off for you on last week. And the fruits of peace is a result of those who make peace. That's what they release. They release good fruit of peace. And again, this peace is really important to us, because on Sunday I told you I will not be disturbed, and you've got to reach that place of determination as well, that you're not going to let things disturb your peace. And where's that peace? That peace is within me. That peace is within me. So I've made a conscious effort. I've made a conscious effort that no matter what's happening around me, I am not going to, if it's not for my good, I'm not going to let it penetrate on the inside, because I don't want my peace, what do we say, disturbed. James chapter 3, verse number 4 is where I want to just briefly hang out for a few moments tonight as we look at these, hang out for these 30 minutes of teaching or so. James chapter 4, verse number 1. James chapter 4, verse number 1. Here is the question that's on the table. From whence come wars and fightings among you? Said, when there is no peace in the environment. Here is the question that we put on the table tonight. When there is war and fightings among you, the question we ask, where does it come from? In other words, in the environment, if there is no peace, why is it that peace is not there? In the environment, if there is war, if there is fighting, why is there fighting and wars? In the environment where there is no peace, why is it that the environment has no peace? If you are a part of the environment, note this tonight, and there is fighting and wars, then what becomes your responsibility to ensure that that doesn't take place? Or are you at a place where it doesn't matter to me, because as long as I'm not fighting, as long as I'm not at war, then none of that matters? Well, what happens when the fighting and wars enter into your space? Then, only then do you say, oh, I have to respond to this? When there is absence of peace, why is it? When there is fighting and wars, why is it? You cannot have a fight and a war, note this tonight, without personalities. Wars and fights are a direct result of personalities. Where an environment is absent of personalities, you can't have war or fighting. Why? Because personalities are the ones who have to participate, who have to be actively involved in a war or a fight for it to take place. And so we've answered on their own set that question, at least I hope we have, is that if there is war and fighting, where does it come from? Note, if you will, type it on the screen, it comes from human personalities. Note that war and fighting come as a result of human personalities. Well, then the question becomes, what makes a human personality want to fight? What makes a human personality not want to be at peace? What drives a human personality to want to create war? Those are all good questions, I hope you think. Because anytime that there are personalities, guess what? There are desires, there are needs, there are wants. And if the personality doesn't know how to control the wants, the needs, the desire, guess what they'll do? They'll go at any length to accomplish what they desire and want, even if that means they've got to disturb peace in order to get it. I hope that makes sense to you. War and fighting comes as a result of what? We talked about this, human personalities. And wherever there are human personalities,
there is the potential for war and fighting. Why? Because if the human personality has not put their needs, their desires, their wants into check, they'll go to any length to get what they want, even if that means creating conflict, creating strife, having envy, and even being jealous. They will go to any length to accomplish what they desire and want because they don't have the discipline to check themselves. And so anytime you have human personalities, guess what you have? An opportunity, or the potential, I say, of war and fighting. And so, in other words, environments don't dictate behaviors. Individuals dictate behaviors in environments. I'll say it again. Environments don't dictate behaviors. That's what we've been taught. Humans dictate behaviors based upon how they handle the environment. We got to get to a place, Christians, saints of God, believers, those who are watching us virtually, that when you enter into the environment, you determine how the environment is going to be based upon who you are, not based upon who's in the environment. And we've got to kill that, we've got to slay, we've got to kill that philosophy of you're only as good as the environment. Negative. I am a trendsetter. I can go into an environment and change an environment. I don't have to go into an environment and to conform to the environment. Shame on us for making people think that they're only as good as their environment. No. We have to become, listen to me, people of God, we have to become trendsetters in this season. We got to set trends. If not, the environment will hold our potential hostage, and we never peak to our full potential because the environment has held it hostage. When in essence, we should be at a peak at our potential because we understand that the environment needs to be changed. It needs to be changed. It must. And that's why it's so critical. Hear me, that we are a healthy people. That's why I believe God led me into this particular teaching, because it is important that we are a healthy people. Because if you put unhealthy people in an environment, that is what you're going to produce out of the environment, a bunch of unhealthy people. But not only will you produce a bunch of unhealthy people, chances are unhealthy people are going to spit their venom onto healthy people, and eventually they can damage healthy people, because unhealthy people don't know what it means to have peace in an environment. Do you know why? Because they don't have peace within themselves. And I think we've set people up for failure, especially in churches. Here I am, I'm out here, because we've placed unhealthy people and put them in positions and told them to succeed. And it's impossible for them to succeed because they're not successful within themselves. Because I know we outline success as material possessions, what you have, what you drive, where you live, where you work, who you're connected to. And somehow we measure that as success. And then you get all of that stuff to unhealthy people, and they become a quick failure. Because they don't know how to produce good fruit, because they don't have good fruit on the inside of them. And I think we failed in our churches because we haven't paused for a minute to get to know people and to see where their mindset is and to see who they really are before we ask them to go do something. And chances are, when we ask them to go do it, we just ask an unhealthy person to go make something well. and it's a challenge. And so I want to drive this teaching and really engage into this teaching because here's what I'm after. Here's what I'm after. I'm after healthy people who are healthy in their mental state, who are healthy in their emotions. Why? So they don't create wars and fightings, so that there's no envying, so there is no strife. And when we get to that place, now we can be productive in any environment. Why? Because we're stable in who we are. That's my aim. I'm after healthy people. I want to rescue some people from the unhealthy place. I want to challenge some people to build their lives upon truth. I want to challenge some people to be honest with yourself about where you are. I want to challenge human personalities to be well. And a lot of times, because we haven't dealt with the stuff that made us sick and we swept it under the rug, there is a constant inner turmoil that's taking place on the inside of us. And even when we get in an environment that's good for us, we pollute the environment because we are not well. That's what I'm after. I am determined that people who are connected to me, around me, we're going to be well. As a matter of fact, for the first time tonight, I want you to type that on the screen for me. Everybody who's on this screen, and you're watching this virtual experience, I want you to type it. We are going to be well. I want you to make declaration. I want you to declare it. As a matter of fact, do me a favor and type it at least 3 times. We are going to be well. We are going to be well. We are going to be well. Why? Because I want to release that into the environment that we're going to be well and healthy people. That's where we're going to be. We're going to be well. We're going to be healthy people. The text says, from which come wars and fightings among you. Look what the text says. Come they not hence, even of your lusts that war in your members, from your desires, that's where it comes from. That's where the envying, that's where the jealousy, that's where the strife, that's where the wars begin. They start based upon your lust and desire. And then all of a sudden, when your needs are not met, you become a fighter as opposed to a peacemaker because you have unmet needs. And isn't that amazing that unhealthy people are people who have unmet needs? And instead of us always criticizing people who don't have, we've got to be at a place as a body of believer where we know how to meet the needs of the people, because that's just one way on how we make them well. Isn't that something? Back to the basic foundation of the Christian movement, to meet the needs of people. Isn't it amazing that our mental health and our emotional state has already been outlined through the Word of God? We've just ignored it and misinterpreted it for so many years. That's where it comes from. Look what the text says. Even of your lust, stuff that you want, you desire. And when your needs are unmet, you're not at peace. And when somebody else has what you want to have, guess what? Because you're not at peace, you want to fight and be in conflict, controversy, and war with them, when you should ask the question, how do I get what you have? Because I'm struggling not having it. And if we're not going to meet the needs of people, of human personalities, how do we expect our communities to get better when a congregation won't meet the needs? Talk to me if you want to. We have to be need meters, because it's part of being mentally healthy. So there's no warring. So that there are no lust and desires of stuff. But we got to learn how to tell the truth too. That I want that. I want that. It is my desire to have that. Well, what is that? Is it accordance to the will of God? Can you have it? And then if it's accordance to the will of God, how do you get it? If it's accordance to the will of God, then how do you make sure that you get it? But you get it as a result of godly behavior and not as a result of war and fightings. The war in your members talking about you, the stuff that's within, the internal peace, those dynamics. That's the issue that we face. If you're not better, then guess what? The environment can't get better because you're not better. Watch what it says in verse number 2, and I'm running. I got about 7 to 8 more minutes. Watch what it says. Verse number 2, ye lust and have not. You want something and you don't have it. Look at this. Ye kill and desire. What is it all that established from? Unmet needs. Your needs are not met. But then you got to ask yourself, when you're talking about your needs being met, you got to ask yourself, well, why do I want it? Why do I want it? It'll help you not get a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need, but it'll also help you stay away from some stuff that's not healthy. Did you hear me? You got to ask yourself, why do I want that? Why do I want it? Do I need it? What is it going to do for me? Tell yourself the truth. Start telling yourself the truth. Don't nobody know you. No one knows you, that's better. No one knows you greater than you. And ask yourself, before you make any move in your life, because I want you to be healthy. That's my aim. Ask yourself, well, why do I want that? Why do I want to go there? Why do I want to be connected to that? Do I need that? Is this about to advance where I'm trying to go? Does it align itself with my life's objectives and goals? Or did I see somebody else with it and I thought, since they got it, I'm going to get it too? Do you need it? Do you want it because somebody else had it or has possession of it? And all of a sudden, because, watch this, you don't know how to get it, you'll go to war with the person that has it, because if you can't have it, they can't either. That's a problem. That's a problem. And so, yeah, the Bible says you lust and you have not. You kill and you desire to have and cannot obtain. I'm right here in the Bible. Because you cannot attain it. Guess what you do? Ye fight and ye war. Yet, when you finish, don't nobody have it. Ever ran into situations like that where somebody's willing to tear up everything, and the reality is they wanted something, but they tore everything up to make sure didn't nobody have it, and all of this time they really wanted it, and because they tore it up for everybody, when everything was done, when the dust was settled, then guess what? Nobody had it. How smart are thee? Nobody has it now. Does that make you happy? No, you're still miserable. Because you still don't get what you was fighting and warring for. You haven't accomplished not a thing. You know why? Because you're still the unhealthy person who started the fight, who thought they wanted something, who thought they was going to fight and get it, still didn't end up with it. Nobody else has it. All you had to do was ask, how did you get it? And still, ground zero, we still at the same place. And you still, when all of that's done, got to ask the question, why did I just make all that fuss? And you still don't have what you were fighting over. Isn't that something? You know why? Because unhealthy people feel like they got to fight to succeed. Because that's what the unhealthy mind says. I got to fight. That's what the emotional state. I got to fight to succeed. No, you don't. 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 You've got to make yourself better. Stabilize yourself in the principles and the precepts of God. Establish that truth, that foundational truth, and build and expand upon it and take that journey with him. And when you do, my friend, then you become that healthy person who understands, because you've told yourself the truth. This is what my needs are. These are my needs. And I am going to put my needs in category. Priority, non-priority, just a desire, something I want to have. And I believe, listen to me, I believe there's some stuff that you want to have that you should just get. Because you want it. Stop getting caught up in what somebody else is going to think. I got this because this was what I wanted to get. I'm always laughing. I'm always laughing at myself. Nobody else. I'm always laughing at myself. Last week when I was in Mississippi for conference, Summers to the Songs conference, Bishop Mitchell, I was there. Left. I went to Jackson to play golf with my Uncle Michael to try to get 9 holes in that, really 18 holes in before dark in that hot Mississippi heat. And boy, was it hot. He's a new golfer. But he has all of the stuff, all of the new clubs, everything. I haven't bought clubs in 15 years. I had my clubs made. I haven't bought clubs in 15 years. And he shows me his clubs. And as we were riding, I kept thinking to myself, I was thinking in my mind, I said, well, maybe it's time I play better if I go get me some, new clubs, invest in some new clubs. And then by the time I got, finished playing, I was like, I don't need no new clubs. Because I haven't beat a course yet with the clubs I got. And so if I would have got caught up in the fact he got the new clubs and he always bragged, well, yeah, this club came out in 2021. He always wanted to give me the year. And I'd be looking at my clubs. My stuff probably say 90 something. But, he always, but the reality for me is I'm still trying to perfect that tool that I already have. And I know the technology is better now. I know that the clubs now are a little forgiving. They cover up some mistakes. But I'm comfortable and I want to perfect what I have before I even go and have an interest in buying some new clubs. But if I would have got caught up in my flesh, in my desire, and not necessarily my desire, but caught up in my flesh of saying, oh, he got some, I can get some too, I would have been somewhere spending money on clubs knowing good and well I had already committed that I wanted to perfect what I already have in my hand. But guess what? At some point, I'm going to get me some new ones. Not because it's going to make me play better, or perhaps that's a little forgiveness, not going to make me play better because I want to go get them. At some point. It's just not right now. And so I told myself the truth. When I get some, it's not because I need them, it's because I want them. That's what I'm trying to get you to get to the place too. Arrive at that healthy place where you know how to put the stuff in the category. Is it a need? Is it a desire? And guess what? If somebody else has it, here's what else I want you to grow to. Go ask them, how'd you get that? If somebody can do something that you like to do and they can do it, much better than you, and you have to admit that too, ooh-wee, they do that well. It's okay. It's okay. I was amazed because when I was in a reference conference again, when I was at the conference again, I was amazed because I was looking around and the phenomenal worshipers who were there, and I'm looking that I had never heard of before who live in Mississippi. Some phenomenal singers. I was just blown away with their whole demeanor, their whole worship style, their whole singing. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I was like, man, is God making these connections for a reason? Because the level of their gift and their anointing was so impressive. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm missing the mark. We're missing the mark. We can get to a higher level. I don't sit there and say, oh, are we better than them? No. We can get to a better place. And that's why I believe exposure is important to the Christian believers. We got to get outside of our box and know how to go and compliment somebody else and glean from somebody else. Why? All for the effort to do what? Get better. I'm back to that place. To get better. What are you going to do? Here it is, I'm out of here. I got to go. Oh, man, I'm out of time. Yeah, you have not because you ask not. That's what I'm getting to. I'm out of time. Yea, you have not because you ask not. Here's what it is. When you want to get better, tell God, I'm on this journey of improvement. How God guide me, direct me, connect me to the people who are going to make me better. That's where you want to be in this 21st century, is that you want to get better. And how you get better? By admitting and telling them the truth of where you are, and then charting out that truth, establishing that foundation upon that truth, that those principles and precepts of God. And it takes you to that place. God bless you. I'm out of time. I'm over my time. Thank you for being a Hill Watcher. I appreciate you so much for being logged in with us on this Walking Through the Word moment. Lady Johnson is coming with our announcement. As always, I hope to see you Sunday morning. Listen, Sunday morning is our dress up Sunday. Put it on. We back to church. Whatever you got. Guess what? If you don't feel like dressing up, guess what? Just come on anyway. Don't let that stop you. But if you got a nice jacket, fellas, if you got a nice tie, fellas, if you got a smooth hat, fellas, you got some nice shoes, put it on. Come hang out with us. Ladies, if you got that hat, come on, put it on. Hang out with us. You got that nice piece, come on, put it on. Let's color it out. Rainbow. It don't matter. Just let's do it. And let's have some good church on Sunday morning. God bless you. And always thank you for being a Hill Watcher.
Thank you, Pastor Johnson, for the word on tonight. We certainly appreciate you. As Pastor Johnson stated, we are asking you to wear your Sunday best this Sunday, August the 1st, 2021. Men wear your suits, women wear your hats, and join us for worship. If you do not have it, don't let that stop you for showing up for worship. The Mission Ministry is sponsoring a teen retreat, August 6th through the 8th, 2021. If you're interested in getting more information for your teen, please see Sister Jeanette Ellerby. Our annual church conference will be held on Friday, August 20th, 2021, through Sunday, August 22nd, 2021. We will kick off at Hunter's Haven on Bloomington Road from 5 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. to practice our archery skills. On Saturday, August 21st, 2021 at 8:15, there will be a time of learning here at the church. Immediately following that session, we will do a gas giveaway, followed by a parking lot celebration and community giveaway. We will culminate on Sunday, August 22nd, 2021 at 11 o'clock a.m. for morning worship. Pastor Johnson has some awesome speakers lined up for the weekend, and there will be classes for all ages. Please register to be a part of this great weekend in the foyer immediately following worship services, or you can register on our church website. The ministry seed for the weekend will be $100 for adults and $25 for youth, and that will include everything you will need for the weekend. The Philadelphia Men's Ministry is asking everyone to join in a toiletry drive for Restoration Urban Ministries. The goal is to donate 2,400 toiletry items by Saturday, August 28th. We will be collecting deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrushes, shaving cream, razors, feminine hygiene products, and soap. You can drop off your donations in the totes located in the foyer of the church. If you are interested in being a part of the church anniversary committee scheduled for February 2022, please see Minister John Young immediately following any worship service. To purchase a copy of Pastor Johnson's first book project, Looking Within, please go to lakivicjohnson.com, amazon.com, kobo.com, Barnes & Noble, or you can see me, Lady J, or Kennedy Johnson immediately following worship. These are your weekly announcements. Have a great Wednesday evening. God bless you all.